Hello and welcome back. In this video, we will learn about loops. Basically, loops can execute a block of code a number of times. Loops are handy if you want to run the same code over and over again, each time with a different value. You can use loops. Before jumping to further, let me tell you the types of loops. We have different types of loop. We have for loop, we have for in loop, we have for off loop, we have while loop, we have do while loop, and we have for each loop. Let's start with for loop. Let's open a text editor and simply create a new folder with the name of 05-conditional statements. It's not a conditional statements, it's basically iterative statements. So let's use iterative statements. And simply we have this file. In fact, let's remove it and simply click on this practice folder, and let's create a new folder with the name of iterative statements. And in iterative statement, let's create a new file with the name of forloop.js. Let's clear this terminal. So to understand for loop, there is a basic syntax. So we will use for keyword. Here we have basically initialization, semicolon, then condition, semicolon, then increment or decrement, semicolon. After that, we need to use curly braces, and here this is loop body. Let's comment it, and here simply use for, and to initialize a value, let's take a variable with the name of I. You can use any name for this variable. Let's use I is equal to 0, semicolon. Then we need to specify condition. Let's say I want to print a counting from 0 to 10. So I will use make a logic like this: I less than or equal to 10. This is my logic, and simply I will use increment because I want to start from 0 to 10. So the initial value is 0. So here I will simply use console.log and simply let's print I. Let's end it with semicolon and simply change the directory. Simply just go to one folder up, and now we are in practice folder. Now change the directory and go to 05-iterative statements, hit enter, and now we are in iterative statements folder. Let's use node 01-4-loop.js, and here we have this output. We have this counting from 0 to 10. So if you want to start from 1, so you can use 1 here. Simply rerun the code and you can see it's 1 to 10. Now if you want to print even number, we can use conditional statements, which is basically if, and I am simply using if I remainder 2 is equal to 0, then simply print this values, otherwise do nothing. Let's save it and simply rerun the code, and now you can see we have 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. So in this way you can simply even use odd number like this. So this is a very simple for loop. So in this way you can use your for loop. And here I need to add a few more things. We have a break statement and we have a continue statement. So let's say I don't want to change this condition any logic, but I want if my value goes to 5, so simply skip this 5. So let's use if I is equal to 5, simply let's continue, skip this value, and then use console.log, and here I will use I. Now it's cut it and simply paste it outside of this if condition. Now save it and rerun the code, and you can see we have skipped 5 this time. So simply continue statement, simply skip the specific iteration. Now if you want that if I is equal to 5, and you want to let's say if the iteration is 5, so simply break the remaining execution. So simply you can use break statement. So it will start from 1 and go to 4 and skip the remaining execution. So let's save it and simply rerun the code, and you can see it. Now here there is another thing. If you want to print 5 and then skip the remaining execution, you can change this sequence. This means simply I am printing 5 and then skipping the remaining execution. So let's save it and simply rerun the code, and you can see it. Let's do one thing more. Now you can even print your you can use loops with arrays. So let's get this array and simply paste it here. Now if I want to print the value of this array. So here we have let's change this to 0. Instead of changing this, let's comment it and simply use for, and here I will simply use where I is equal to 0 semicolon, and here let's use students dot length I less than or equal to students dot length. I am telling I must be run until i's value is less than the length of this array, and it with semicolon. Use increment. You can also use decrement, but here in this example I need to use increment, and here I will simply use console.log, and here I am simply printing I. It means it will be first time 0 then 1. So let's use this I. Let's save it and rerun the code, and you can see this. We have BSIT 5th 90 true undefined, and we have this undefined value. Now let's remove this equal to sign and simply rerun the code, and now we have this early BSIT 5th 90 and true. We don't have any undefined value, and we printed all values. So in this way you can use for loops to print the values of arrays. So keep learning. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the very next video. Hello and welcome back. In this video we will learn about while loop. So this is another type of loop. Let's understand it with an example. Let's create a new file with the name of while-loop.js. Let's copy this code and paste it here. Let's remove it. Let's remove it also. Now we have a syntax for using while loop. We will use while, and we will specify condition, then we will use curly braces, and this is loop body. So let's understand with an example. So let's consider this example. So I will use while, and our condition is students. Let's use var keyword here, where I is equal to 0. Let's use I less than students dot length, and use curly braces, and here I will simply use console dot log, and here I will simply print students, and then with the help of I will print all values, and here I will simply increment the value. Let's save it and run this while loop.js, and here we have this early bsit fifth 90 and true. I hope this is pretty much simple, so there must be no confusion in this video lecture. So keep learning. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the very next video. Hello and welcome back. In this video we will learn about do while loop. So let's start it. So simply open the text editor and create a new file with the name of 03-do-while.js, and let's copy this code and paste it here. And now we need to define do first. We need to define body of the loop first, and then we need to use while, and it with semicolon. That's final. This is the syntax of do while loop. So what is the difference between while loop and do while loop? Well, in do while loop, if your condition is false, this loop will be run at least one time. So let's use this. So let's cut it and remove this and end it with semicolon. Let's use 2 and let's paste it here. Now let's run it. Let's change it to 3 and use -do-while.js, and here we have this error. So okay, don't worry. Okay, let's rename it to loop. Let's save it and simply rerun the code, and here we have early bsit fifth 90 true. It's showing the result accurately. Now let's consider another example. Let's use do console dot log console dot log, and here I am simply printing value of I, and I will be plus plus, while I less than or equal to 10. And if I save it and rerun this code, it will simply print counting from 0 to 10. So the value of I is 0 first time, and so when a loop will start, it will simply print the value of I. So I is 0. Now and then it will check the condition, and then it will increment it. Let's change it to I1 and simply rerun this code. So it will print from 1 to 10. Now what if I simply change it to 0? Now this condition is totally false because our value is I is equal to 1, while we are specifying I less than 0 or I less than 1. It's also false, so it will print 1. Let's run it and we can see this 1, because when loop start, it will simply print the value, then it will check the condition. It will execute the body, and then it will check the condition. And so I hope you have understanding of what is the difference between while and do while loop. So keep learning. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the very next video. Hello and welcome back. In this video, we will learn about for each loop, which will work with arrays. So let's create a new file with the name of 04-for each-loop.js. Now let's copy this array and paste it here. And now we have the students array, and if I simply use dot, then we have this for each, and in for each we need to specify few things. Here we need to use arrow function. So let's use this. Let's say we are specifying in array, get the each element and simply print it, console.log, and here I will simply print this e. Let's end it with semicolon, and let's clear this terminal, and now change this to 4 and make it for each dash loop.js. And okay, there is an error. Let's save it, and here we have this for each node 04 for each dash loop. It's not for each while loop. Let's run this file, and here we have this LE BSIT 90 true, and this is a very simplest type of loop. It's a for each loop and it works with arrays. So I hope you have clear understanding of this. So keep learning. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the very next video. Hello and welcome back. Yes, we have still two more types of loops, which is for off and for in loop. So let's create another file with the name of 05-for off-loop.js, and now simply copy this array. So keep in mind, for off loop works with arrays. Paste it here, and here we have for keyword, and now we define, let's say it's a student, so let's use var student of students, and here we will simply use console.log and use student. Please keep in mind, it's a recommended way to use a singular name of array. So let's save it and simply create a new terminal. Let's delete these all terminals. Here we have this terminal. Let's change it to 05-iterative statements. That's final, and let's clear the terminal and simply run node 05-for off-loop.js. Node 05-for-off-loop.js. Hit enter, and here we have this student is not iterable. Okay, fine. We are making mistake. It's students. Let's save it and simply rerun this code. And here we have Ali BSIT 5th 90 and true. So in this way, we can use for off loop. So keep learning. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the very next video. Hello and welcome back. In this video, we will learn about for in loop, which is work with object. So let's open a text editor and create a new file with the name of 06-for in loop.js. And now simply let's copy this object paste it here, and let's remove this function and make it simple. And now we have this for, and here I will use, let's change it to users, and here I will use var user in users, and then we have this body, and here we will simply use console.log, and here I will use user. Let's end it with semicolon and run this code. So change it to for in loop, change it to 6, hit enter, and here we have this first name, last name, skill is active, and age. It's showing us the key instead of values. So what is the way of showing values? So to showing values we will use users, and then in here and here we will use user. So let's rerun this code, and now we have values. We can use string interpolation by using backtick, and here I will simply use $sign and use user and remove this, and after that I will simply use space and use this, so it will be a key pair value. Let's end backtick here. Let's save it and rerun this code, and we have this Mahmoud Khalil. Okay, fine, let's remove this user and use user only, and here we have this first name Mahmoud Khalil, last name Khalil, first name Mahmoud, last name Khalil, skill full stack web development, is active, true, age 30. We can use string interpolation here, we can use colon here, let's use, and here we have this. So in this way you can use for in loop with objects to print, to work with object values and keys. So keep learning. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the very next video.